Trump versus Nigeria: the truth behind the religious freedom allegations. In early October 2025, a new diplomatic storm erupted between Washington and Abuja. The US President Donald Trump made a bold declaration, calling Nigeria a country that violates religious freedom. He claimed that Christians in Nigeria are being slaughtered in what he described as a silent genocide. The statement quickly went viral, reshared by the White House on X, and repeated by several Western media outlets. But inside Nigeria, officials, analysts, and religious leaders all said, "That's not the full truth." So what really lies behind these accusations? Is Nigeria truly facing a religious war? Or is this a story of insecurity, politics, and perception? Let's break it down. It began with a post by Donald Trump on his social platform, Truth Social. In his words, thousands of Christians are being killed in Nigeria by radical Islamist militants. Christianity is under serious threat. Trump went on to say he was listing Nigeria as a country of concern, a move that, under US law, can lead to sanctions, arms embargoes, and diplomatic restrictions. Some American commentators even claimed that over 100,000 Christians had been killed and more than 18,000 churches destroyed since 2019. But are these numbers real? And why now? Within hours, Nigeria's Ministry of Foreign Affairs responded. In a statement signed by spokesperson Kimiebi Ebienfa, the government described Trump's comments as misleading and unfair. The statement read, "Different religions have lived and worked side by side in Nigeria for generations. The violence in the country is not religious. It is the result of terrorism, banditry, and crime." The government added that it values the concern of international partners, but it rejected any suggestion that Nigeria is persecuting Christians. Nigeria's Minister of Information, Mohammed Idris, also condemned the claim, calling it an attempt to misrepresent a complex security crisis as a holy war. Even the Christian Association of Nigeria, known as CAN, dismissed Trump's statement. Its director of public affairs, Abimbola Ayuba, told the Guardian newspaper that, yes, killings are happening across Nigeria, but they are not limited to Christians. Ayuba explained that while attacks in some areas like Benue State often affect Christian farmers, in other regions like Zamfara, Katsina, and Niger, Muslims are the primary victims. He pointed to several mosque attacks during dawn prayers and incidents where entire Muslim communities were displaced by armed groups. His message was simple: Nigeria's violence is not one-sided. Ayuba warned that foreign politicians and lobby groups often use such narratives to gain influence or funding abroad, without understanding the real dynamics on the ground. Nigeria's insecurity didn't start today. For more than 15 years, the country has fought Boko Haram, a terrorist group that began as a religious movement but evolved into a brutal insurgency. Since 2009, Boko Haram and its splinter group, ISWAP, have killed tens of thousands of people, Muslims and Christians alike. They have bombed mosques, burned churches, destroyed schools, and kidnapped students, including the 2014 Chibok girls' abduction that shocked the world. In the northwest, heavily armed bandits raid villages, kidnap residents, and extort ransom. In the central region, violent clashes between farmers and herders have become frequent, driven by land disputes, climate pressure, and poverty. And in the south, separatist movements like IPOB and militant groups in the Niger Delta continue to threaten national stability. Each of these conflicts has different causes, but one thing is clear: they are not purely about religion. According to the U.S. State Department, when America designates a nation as a country of concern, it means there are severe violations of religious freedom under the International Religious Freedom Act of 1998. But this label comes with consequences. Security analyst Bulama Bukarti explains, if Nigeria is officially added to that list, the US and its allies could stop selling weapons to the country. They could also restrict trade and investment. For a nation that depends heavily on crude oil exports and imported goods, such sanctions could damage the economy, raise prices, weaken the currency, and even worsen food shortages. He warned that beyond economics, the biggest risk is division. If the international community views Nigeria as a nation divided by religion, that perception could inflame tensions between Muslims and Christians inside the country. Across Nigeria, reactions have been mixed. Some believe Trump's statement brings needed global attention to the country's insecurity. Others say it simplifies a complex problem, ignoring decades of terrorism, bad governance, and underdevelopment. Ordinary citizens are tired. They've seen villages attacked, schools burned, markets raided. To them, the violence has no religion. As one resident in Plateau State said, when bullets fly, they don't ask if you're a Christian or a Muslim. Nigeria was once placed on the US list of countries of concern in 2020. It was later removed in 2021 after diplomatic discussions. Now, with Trump's renewed comments, that debate is back, and it could shape how the world sees Nigeria once again. Experts say the solution lies not in blame, but in cooperation. International partners can support Nigeria with intelligence, technology, and humanitarian aid, but they must avoid inflaming internal divisions. Nigeria's story is not simply about religion. It's about survival, governance, and justice. Yes, people are dying. Yes, the crisis is real. But labeling it a war between Christians and Muslims only makes healing harder. In the end, peace will not come from accusations abroad. It will come from unity, truth, and courage within. This is MD24 News, TV bringing you deep insights from Africa and the world. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more investigative stories.